Tôi đây là bản dịch tiếng Anh của câu chuyện. The poor man carrying manure encounters Buddha in an alley, a single sentence that changed his life forever. During Buddha's time on earth, India was deeply divided by caste systems. Among these, the Shudras, considered untouchables, were the poorest and most despised, seen as filthy and ranked alongside animals. They lived at the very bottom of society and were denied the dignity of being treated as human beings. In the city of Shravasti, there lived a Shudra named Nide. Nide was gentle and kind-hearted, spending his days cleaning latrines and performing tasks no one else wanted to do. One day, as Buddha and his disciple Ananda walked through the city, they entered a narrow alley where they encountered Nide. At that moment, Nide was carrying a heavy load of manure on his shoulders. Seeing Buddha, he panicked and tried to step aside to avoid him. However, the alley was too narrow, so Nide could only lower his head to the ground and say humbly, "Your Holiness, my body is filthy. Please stay away so I do not sully your purity." But Buddha approached Nide and said, "Nide, would you like to become a monk?" At that time, monks and spiritual practitioners belonging to the Brahmin caste were regarded as the most noble in society, even above princes and nobles. It was a sacred domain where people like Nide, considered untouchable, dared not dream of entering. Nide was bewildered and replied, "You are the exalted Buddha, while I am a lowly man. How could I be worthy of becoming your disciple?" Buddha smiled and said, "Dharma is like pure water. It can cleanse all impurities. No matter how filthy something is, once bathed in Dharma, it becomes pure. Dharma is like holy fire. It can burn away all dirt and leave only purity behind. Whatever it touches is transformed into something sacred. In the eyes of Dharma, all sentient beings are equal, without distinction of wealth or class. Anyone who believes in Buddha and has faith can practice and escape the suffering of the cycle of life and death." Buddha's words deeply moved Nide. With a determined heart, he chose to follow Buddha's teachings and became a diligent disciple. Before long, he attained enlightenment and reached the state of an arhat. However, Nide's salvation by Buddha stirred jealousy among the arrogant members of society. How could a lowly Shudra be allowed to become a monk and receive offerings? Wherever Nide went, they would avoid him. Wherever he sat, they would clean the area as though it had been defiled. Eventually, their anger and resentment boiled over, and they petitioned the king, insisting that Buddha should not accept Nide as a disciple. The king, hearing this, decided to address the matter himself. Arriving at the monastery, he had to dismount his chariot and walk a distance. Along the way, he saw a monk sitting serenely on a large rock. The king politely said, "I wish to meet Buddha. Could you convey this message to him?" The monk walked through the rock as if it were thin air, then returned the same way to deliver the message. When the king finally met Buddha, he bowed in respect and said, "Your Holiness, the monk I saw earlier possesses an extraordinary energy. May I know his name?" Buddha smiled and replied, "That monk is none other than Nide, the very person you've come to question me about. I do not discriminate between rich and poor when saving sentient beings because all are equal in the eyes of Dharma." Buddha then added, "Just as a fragrant lotus blooms in muddy water, should we abandon such a beautiful flower because of the mud?" Let me know if you'd like me to refine or adjust the translation further.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to this story. If you feel that the story brings some value or meaning, please share it to spread this lesson to more people. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon so you don't miss the next good and meaningful stories. Your support is the greatest source of motivation for me to continue sharing. Thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this story. If you feel that the story brings some value or meaning, please share it to spread this lesson to more people. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon so you don't miss the next good and meaningful stories. Your support is the greatest source of motivation for me to continue sharing. Thank you very much.